James McKenna wiped the sweat from his brow as he stumbled through the alien marketplace, his stomach growling with a hunger that had become his constant companion. 3 months stranded on Zephyria Prime, and he still couldn't get used to the purple sky or the way the twin suns cast everything in an otherworldly glow. His mining equipment had failed catastrophically, leaving him broke and desperate in a galaxy that cared little for human struggles. The marketplace buzzed with alien chatter, clicks, whistles, and harmonics that his universal translator could barely parse. Towering Zerathi merchants hawked glowing fruits, while insectoid Clixians scuttled between stalls selling biotech implants. James kept his head down, knowing that humans were considered little more than curiosities here, barely evolved primates who had somehow stumbled into space. That's when he saw her. Tied to a marble pillar in the center of the square stood a girl who couldn't have been more than 20 standard years old. Her skin held a subtle blue tint that marked her as Avalonian, one of the galaxy's most advanced species. Her silver hair caught the light like liquid metal, and her large violet eyes held a mixture of defiance and desperation that James recognized all too well. Above her head, a holographic sign flickered in multiple languages. "Take as you please." Punishment for treason against the Zenthara Collective. James felt his blood run cold. The Zenthara Collective was notorious throughout the galaxy for their brutal justice system. Whatever this girl had done, she was now considered property of anyone who wanted her. A crowd had gathered, mostly Zenthara, officials in their distinctive black armor, laughing and making crude comments in their guttural language. James watched in horror as one of them approached the girl, reaching out with a clawed hand. "Stop," James heard himself say, his voice barely above a whisper. The Zenthara turned, its compound eyes focusing on him with amusement. "The human speaks," it clicked, its translator making its voice sound like grinding metal. What could a pathetic earthworm possibly want? James's hands trembled, but he stepped forward. "I said stop. She's mine." The crowd erupted in laughter. "Yours?" The Zenthara officer clicked. "You claim this Avalonian female? With what authority? With what payment?" James's mind raced. He had nothing. No money, no status, no power. In this galaxy, humans were considered the weakest species, good only for manual labor and entertainment. But looking at the girl's eyes, seeing the same desperate hunger for dignity that he felt every day, something inside him ignited. "With human authority," he said, standing straighter. "My name is James McKenna, citizen of Earth, member of the species that survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and extinctions. We're the species that looked at an endless universe and decided we belonged in it." The laughter died down slightly. James pressed on, his voice growing stronger. "You want to know what humans do when we see injustice? We don't calculate profit, margins. We don't consider political implications. We act." He stepped closer to the pillar, never breaking eye contact with the lead Zenthara. "This girl is under my protection now." "Protection?" The alien's mandibles clicked with derision. "You have no weapons, no allies, no power. What protection can you offer?" James smiled grimly. "The protection of a species too stupid to know when we're beaten. The protection of beings who've never met a hopeless cause we wouldn't die for." He pulled out his mining laser, damaged but still functional. Around him, other aliens began backing away. They might consider humans primitive, but everyone in the galaxy knew one thing. Humans were unpredictably violent when cornered. "You would die for a stranger?" the Zenthara asked, genuinely puzzled. "An alien stranger who means nothing to your species or your world?" "That's exactly when it matters. Most," James replied, his finger hovering over the laser's trigger. "When there's nothing in it for us. When it's just the right thing to do." For a long moment, the square fell silent except for the hum of hover traffic overhead. Then, slowly, the Zenthara officer stepped back. "Humans." It clicked with what might have been respect. Truly the most illogical species in the galaxy. As the crowd dispersed, James quickly freed the girl from her bonds. She stared at him with wide violet eyes. "Why?" she asked in accented standard. "You risked everything for someone you don't even know." James helped her to her feet, noting how she favored her left leg. "Because that's what humans do. We're not the smartest species or the strongest or the most advanced, but we're the ones who show up when nobody else will." Her name was Liza, she told him as they walked away from the square. She was a scientist who had discovered evidence of Xanthara war crimes and had tried to expose them. Now she was marked for death by one of the galaxy's most powerful factions. "They'll come after both of us now," she warned. "You've made yourself a target." James shrugged, already formulating plans. "Then we'd better make sure we're ready for them. You said you were a scientist?" "Xenobiology and advanced physics," she confirmed. "And I'm a mining engineer who's really good at making things explode." James grinned. "I think we make a pretty good team." As they disappeared into the crowded streets of Zephyria Prime, neither of them noticed the small crowd of humans who had witnessed the confrontation. Word spread quickly through the human communities scattered across the galaxy. One of their own had stood up to the Xanthara Collective and won. Within days, the story had reached Earth. Within weeks, the Galactic Council received a formal demand from the Human Alliance for a full investigation into Xanthara justice practices. The galaxy was about to learn what humans had known for millennia. Sometimes the smallest acts of defiance can topple the mightiest empires. And it all started with one struggling human who refused to walk away from injustice, even when he had every reason to save himself instead.